What's up, everybody? It's DC and Lake here for episode 4 of No Huddle Hoops. And today we're going to talk about some NFL news that happened, like the Micah Parsons trade, college football news, the NFL starting back this Thursday, and we're going to talk about some other stuff as well. But first up, we're going to get into the Micah Parsons trade with the Dallas Cowboys. He was traded away. The Cowboys received 2 first-round picks and Kenny Clark from the Packers. And he also got an extension for 4 years and $188 million, and is the highest paid edge rusher in the NFL. So, Lake, give me your thoughts on that.
And it was like, man, what a rocking trade. The Packers, I know every middle-aged man is going crazy for that right now. That's pretty much the whole Packers fan base. But if I was a Packers fan, I'd be hyped. I think that's a guaranteed playoff move to get Micah Parsons to bolster up your defense. I wasn't, really paying attention to this Green Bay defense, but Kenny Clark is a great defensive tackle. 2 first-round picks is nothing to scoff at. You could draft the next Micah Parsons. I mean, Jerry Jones is at the helm of things, so probably not. But, hey, 2 first-round picks, and Kenny Clark is a great D-tackle. I think they got a good haul. Green Bay is going to be scary to play this season, especially if Jordan Love takes a leap.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I feel like Green Bay could have gotten another pick out of them. But, I mean, looking at it now, it's not a bad trade. But Micah Parsons, that hurts. But they got a decent haul. But next up, we're going to talk about Terry McLaurin getting extended for 3 years, $90 million. So what are you thinking about that?
He is here to stay after a contract holdout that lasted pretty much the entire summer. They really should have paid him sooner. He ended up getting paid a whole lot of money anyway. I mean, 3 years, $90 million is nothing to scoff at, especially in NFL money. But Terry McLaurin has had 1,000 yards consistently over his last few seasons. Aside from his rookie year, he hasn't finished a season with less than 1,000 yards, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
5 out of 6 seasons he's had 1,000. But he's going into a new era of Washington football with a great quarterback in Jaden Daniels. I thought Micah Parsons would be a Washington Commander, but hey, the Washington Commanders are still going to be pretty good this season. They're going to make some noise in the playoffs. Terry McLaurin is the focal point of the offense with Jaden Daniels, so I'm sure Washington fans are excited to see that they got to keep him around. What do you think?
This is a deal that should have been done a long time ago because he is a top 10 receiver in my opinion. He was very valuable to the Commanders championship run last season. And I just think, he's a really good receiver. He deserved it, Jaden Daniels needed the number 1 weapon. They needed to keep him around, and I think Washington did the right thing by re-signing him. But next up, we're going to talk about Trey Hendrickson getting re-signed to a 1-year, $14 million deal. And I'm going to just go ahead and say the Bengals are cheap, and they will always be cheap. Doesn't matter how much money they gave to Joe Burrow and T. Higgins.
The league leader in sacks has only been re-signed for 1 season. And Shamar Stewart did get his guaranteed money, but it's clear they're taking baby steps in the right direction in terms of a good front office, because it really took you an entire summer to end this holdout with your first-round pick. And it also took you the whole summer to end another holdout with the league leader in sacks. What are we doing?
What's crazy is they didn't really improve on defense other than getting Shamar Stewart. Their secondary is still bad, which was the issue last year. I mean, they just didn't improve secondary-wise, and expect the Bengals to be 9-8 again.
Yeah, I mean, they're not going to make the playoffs, especially with this, lack of passion when it comes to signing defensive players. They're just really apathetic in that front office. It makes no sense as to why you wouldn't actively hunt for defensive players in the offseason when your offense is so good you could win a Super Bowl with just half the squad. I mean, you need a reinforcement. Joe Burrow can't drop 50 points every game.
It's the front office. That's what it all comes down to.
It's a travesty. I mean, they're really rivaling Dallas for the worst front office. I mean, both squads in Dallas.
Yeah, I know.
But the NFL season's coming back on Thursday. We're all excited for that. I can't wait to watch my favorite team, the Atlanta Falcons, get out there and play some football. We're going to have a great season, I think. What are you thinking about your favorite teams heading into this next season?
I'm excited. You're always excited because the NFL is back. You get up, and then you're going to be depressed like me, like a Saints fan. So I'm still excited. I'm excited to see what some of our draft picks can do, as well as the Seahawks too. I'm excited about that.
Calvin Banks looked really good in the preseason.
Oh, yeah.
Spencer Rattler was recently named the quarterback one for the Saints. Personally, I still think they're going to go 3-14. But, I mean, you can get a high draft pick. You can draft a guy like Nussmeier, who is probably going to have a Heisman season this year. Arch Manning's draft stock. Ooh, what a slide.
That's what we're going to get into next.
For college football news, let's go ahead and talk about that Arch Manning horrible performance, man. Well, not horrible, but extremely disappointing for what he was being hyped up to be.
Yeah.
You know, and his first career start was last season against some pretty mid to bad schools. UTSA, some FCF squads. His real test has come in the form of Ohio State. And yeah, you can't really test a first-year starter against Ohio State in week one and expect them to perform at a high level. But with the hype Arch Manning got, I mean, they played the dude a 10-minute promotional video before the game even started.
Let me say this. If this was Arch Johnson, no one would be talking about him. But since he is Peyton and Eli's nephew, that's why he's being talked about and being hyped up as much as he is. I didn't expect him to be just out of the world amazing. I expected him to be good to average. But he wasn't even that. He was utterly terrible in the first three quarters, and it just made you think, how is this dude a college quarterback?
I know, dude. It was like my original thoughts were this is the victim of bad play calling until I saw what he was doing.
His decision making was horrible.
It just wasn't good, and his accuracy was being called into question in the first quarter when he rolled out and the Texas receiver was wide open and he threw to the ground. And it's like no one's around him. You have to make plays like that. He also threw an interception. Another interception was dropped.
Yeah.
And he wasn't careful with the football. He has great legs. I don't know why he didn't run the ball more. Ohio State locked him up. Locked him down. Julian Sand had a much better game than he did. Arch Manning's draft stock is just sliding down, man.
I mean, I called it. I did say it was going to be a blowout last video, and it wasn't. But I said Ohio State wins this game.
We both said Ohio State won the game. They won. Not much more to it than that.
Yeah.
It was not the game everyone expected it to be. And that last, they scored the touchdown the last 4 minutes, Texas.
Yeah, they got us. I kind of got excited, but I was like, if Arch leads a touchdown drive, we could see some things, but he just did not look good yesterday.
Another thing that didn't look good was Alabama's season opener, losing by 2 scores to the Florida State Seminoles. As an Alabama Crimson Tide fan, I don't know what to say. This is the first home opener loss since 2001. I'm not used to, being born in the Saban era. I'm just not used to losing. I didn't watch the game. The Florida State went 2-10 last year. I watched the first 2 quarters. I didn't like what I saw out of the defense. I hated what I saw out of the offensive line. When it was all said and done, I watched some more film on it. Ty Simpson looks pretty good. He's not very good on throwing on the run. I didn't like whenever he would try to escape the pocket when he's a pocket passer. Mm-hmm. And Kalen DeBoer is a quarterback whisperer. So my question is this a new normal for Alabama? Is this a start of an era into which Alabama goes into, a shell of their former self? What does this mean for the program in the next coming years? Is Kalen DeBoer the answer, or is he just a placeholder?
Alabama, they didn't play well yesterday, just like Lake said. I watched some film on it. The defense was not good. I mean, like, you think about Nick Saban defenses and all the NFL players they produced, didn't look good. Their O-line was lackluster. I mean, they weren't blocking very good.
And they were getting hyped up the whole preseason. And it's like, what have we been doing the past 7 months in practice?
But you say Kalen DeBoer might not be the answer. I'm not gonna say he's not the answer. I think the defensive coordinator is not the answer. I don't think he's the answer, but it makes you think, like, the success that Kalen DeBoer had at Washington, was it because of the play of Michael Penix? or was the play calling really good? What was it, you know?
I mean, at this point, I'm going to have to say it was, Penix, Romeo Dunze, great defense. I mean, if Michigan didn't cheat, they could have won it all that year.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, let's move on to a brighter spot. Devin's LSU Tigers
got the
have
dub.
won their first season opener since 2019 in a great fashion, letting up 0 points to Clemson in the second half. That defense looked stifling. The offense wasn't necessarily moving how we expected it to, but Clemson's got a great defense too.
Oh, yeah.
If the offense gets rolling like it normally does at LSU, they're going to carve through teams. And if there was ever a season for LSU to win a national championship, it's this season.
Man. The defense, they deserve the game ball. I was so surprised on how they came out. They fought. I thought, they're going to give up 25, maybe 30 points. They didn't even do that. They gave up one rushing touchdown and a field goal. It's giving me 2011 LSU defense vibes. If you know, you know. But the offense, got to be a little bit consistent. But we'll have a tune-up game next week, to kind of get the offense moving a little bit better than they did. But Nussmeier didn't turn over the ball. I was very proud of him for that. I'm very excited for this season. I'm very, very excited for this season.
Cade Klubnik threw an interception, which I was also surprised. He was a Heisman favorite coming into the season.
Ooh.
LSU exposed him, to say the least. LSU exposed them. And that's exciting to see if you're an LSU fan. Hey, another title to the SEC is another title to the SEC. Even though I'm not an LSU fan, if they win a national championship, I'm going to be happy because, hey, as long as the Big Ten don't win nothing, it's all good. As long as Clemson doesn't win anything, it's all good.
Oh, but we're also going to talk about that. We said in the last video Clemson was going to be the number 1 overall seed undefeated, and they took the loss yesterday. However, I don't see them losing another game on their schedule.
Me either. I really don't. I think this is, we said 12-0. I said they could go 11-1, and the only loss being to LSU. But I was more confident in Clemson winning this game, as Brian Kelly doesn't have an amazing reputation with season openers. But we digress. Alabama was my national championship pick. I'd like to apologize on behalf of that statement. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs this year. There was some banter between me and Devin. Roll the clip.
All right, let's go. Let's go. Okay. Oh shit.
Oh hell yeah! Aim lower! Shit! Oh my god! Dude, if Devin leaned into that, he would.
But hey, we're here. We're going to keep our heads up into the next college football week.
Season ain't over yet.
It's not over. There's a lot of season left to be played. Hopefully, Bama can start moving this team. I'm not confident. Yeah. Another take we need to address was K-State versus Iowa State. I said it would be a blowout. Devin said it'd be close in favor of K-State.
Man.
We heavily overestimated Kansas State as they barely squeaked out a win against their, what was it?
They played North Dakota, beat them by 3 points, 38-35.
Man, I mean, and Iowa State handled K-State. They handled their opponent. Iowa State is going to be something this year. When I was looking at their schedule, I was like, man, maybe they're not a playoff team, but they're a team that can make some noise.
The K-State don't even look like a 8-win team.
Oh my
the way they've been
gosh.
playing. But here's the thing: their quarterback Avery Johnson, he didn't play bad last week. He had 3 touchdowns, I think. But a lot of why they lost is because of the play calling. The offensive play calling was terrible.
And the setting of the game. The rain caused 4 fumbles, 2 for each side.
Man.
Oh man, that was just awful for both squads. But we would like to apologize on behalf of that statement. Clemson's not going 12-0. So that was also what we said. But we were correct about the Ohio State-Texas game. That was pretty obvious. I mean, if the game was being played at Texas, they still would have lost.
Yeah.
Manny did not look good.
He just wasn't ready.
We can't jump into, how about Bryce Underwood? He played amazing.
I mean, he should have been at LSU, but that's a different story. But good for him. Glad he's been able to get a starting opportunity at Michigan. That's great. I want to see him how he plays against Ohio State later in the season. That should be exciting. But
That should be
yeah.
exciting. Hey, I mean, if LSU had $10 million to spare, they could have gotten them.
Yeah.
And I hope he regrets that decision, too, because LSU's looking great, and they're going to continue to look great because those receivers aren't going anywhere for next season. The defense ain't going anywhere either. So when Nussmeier leaves for the draft, and there's a new quarterback in LSU, Bryce Underwood, I'm sure, would wish that was him because Michigan's not winning anything anytime soon,
Oh, no.
especially with that
No.
punishment they were handed out. No money for postseason viewing.
Nope.
And the $20 million fine, I think it was.
Yeah,
$20 million.
they gave him $20 million, I want to say.
Man. And the only reason that they weren't more strict on Michigan is because all the players and coaches engaged with that cheating scandal aren't there anymore.
Right.
So, it's not fair to really punish a team that had no dealing, with that whole situation.
Right.
It's not really fair for that. That's going to wrap it up for today's episode of No Huddle Hoops. Thank you for tuning into episode 4. We'll see you here next week on Sunday for No Huddle Hoops episode 5. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment. And what your takes are. If you agree, if you disagree, let us know. We'll see you guys next time. Thanks for tuning into No Huddle Hoops.